They're building a right tower inside the compound. And lava's seeing him. And no! Oh no! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Base Invaders, sponsored by Rustoria. No, sorry, brought to you by Rustoria and sponsored by Rusty Pot. Today we got EU, and today we got 8v8. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of chaos. My name is Llama77, and joined today with me in the cast booth is the one and only Doc Raz. Doc, how you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Super excited about this one. This is actually my first event with Base Invaders here.
Yeah.
Really excited to see some great Rust gameplay. Watch these teams go at it. I couldn't be more ready.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you on. I'm excited to cast with you here today, but we'll update the folks at home, kind of what's been going on so far. Obviously, if you aren't familiar with the format, we already started with the build phase. That was kind of off the stream. These players have had some time to build up their bases with some increased resource gathering rate, and with that, with 8-mans as well, they're going to have some bigger bases as well with that build phase over. Now we transition into the attack phase. Within the attack phase, we're going to have a couple of different things going on. Obviously, we have this hard point that is going to get you points the longer you sit in it, but if there's another squad in it, it'll contest you. You don't get any points for it. There's also going to be things like patrol helicopters, and you can get some PvP points during this phase. Yeah, and every 30 seconds, you get some points from that hard point. So, yeah, very, very cool and good. And also after this attack phase, we will have the fun. The raid phase after this one, so it's going to be all the explosions, all the fun action-packed you guys like to see. We'll be there.
Well, they're already fighting pretty quickly here.
Yeah. And over the past kind of, Doc, we've seen that, like, this hard point, it gets some action, a little bit early. There's some PvP there, there's some action there, but I think the teams that kind of go more towards that hard point don't necessarily get knowledge on other bases. They aren't, spreading their wings out towards the entire map. It can sometimes hurt them, but who doesn't like some points?
Getting points early is definitely going to help you get a start. Hopefully they're also taking advantage of this time and maybe got one or two guys looking at a couple other bases, planning where they're going to go during the raid phase and how they're going to complete things.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Get out, get your players out. You got 8 of them. That's the big thing. With maybe some smaller squad sizes, we talk about 3s, 4s. Sometimes you're more, back in your base, more building everything on up to try and get ready for that. It looks like possibly the first patrol helicopter is inbound here, and it looks like it's going to be taking some shots here, maybe taken down by some of these squads. It'll go down right in the middle of a couple different bases, and as a reminder, those crates dropping from the patrol helicopter, they do light on fire for a little bit of time, but after those crates expire, going up, touching them, and looting them will get you 3 points each, and there is 5 of them in total, so 15 points available for any team that wants to go out and claim it.
That's a good way to pick up a good few points. Just got to wait for the fire to go out and hopefully win the counter if there is one. Doesn't really seem like this guy's got too much to worry about, though, right now. All by himself.
Yeah, all alone. Unfortunate. Actually, he's got a friend.
Up some cover so he can loot. That's a good idea. Now he doesn't have to worry so much about getting shot. He's got a little bit of cover while he waits for those to quit burning.
Yeah. Gotta wait for those to stop burning. That's the thing. Like, you can get there, you can get some control over the patrol helicopter, but it is ultimately, who claims those. So maybe some of those teams around, knowing that there is that timer on it, knowing they'll have to wait a little bit further here. Looks like Bradley over here is taken down as well. So some points going to be available as well. But once again, the fire denies you for now.
Well, I wouldn't want to touch that fire either, so just got
No.
to give it a couple of minutes, wait for it, just kind of hold some control over those objectives, and hopefully clutch it up for your team, get those points going.
That's the biggest thing, points are the huge issue of the day, obviously. That's what we're here for. That's what the money is for, to award the team that, gets the most points at the end of the day. But obviously, it's good in the attack phase as well. At the end of the attack phase, the team that is leading going into the raid phase will get an extra 10 points. So a little bit extra boost for the team that does secure the most throughout that attack phase.
That's definitely a nice bonus to have. A little bit of padding of the stats, give you a little bit more wiggle room between you and your opponents. Always nice. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah, give yourself a little bit of room to expand your lead here, and we'll definitely see those leads start to expand. We already got some teams up on the leaderboard, and we got some teams up at 20, 25 points. We're expecting maybe a little bit higher scores here for 8-mans, just because there's most likely going to be some more PvP points. But you'd have to imagine, Doc, that there's actually a lot less bases here today, and they might be a little bit tougher to raid because there's going to be a lot of defenders home to help.
Well, having 8 people, 8 to defend, and also to build means you can get much more tanky build up a lot faster.
It's true.
I mean, it just makes life a lot easier. Plus, you got a lot more opportunity for farm. You're gonna have more materials to work with. And we can see some of these bases right here. They've got some pretty large builds. A lot of open tops here on these guys as well. Lots of shooting floors. Good positions to look down. Compounds all look pretty decent. And yeah. So good. A lot of walls in between these bases over here.
Yeah, a lot of walls. Like you said, though, a lot of these bases very, very chunky, so it might take a little bit more time to kind of get through, as well as, like you said, there's going to be some high qual, there's going to be some good, resources on those walls for them to help protect. But yeah, a lot of walls out here out in the open, it looks like. Some teams, those walls will despawn eventually. I believe they only last about 10 minutes in time outside of your base, so you have to be a little bit careful of that. But, that's just to gain some extra, protection when you're walking over to someone else's base, so you're not just running out in the open.
Yeah, as much cover as you can get, the better. More opportunity to move around, flank around, get out of line of sight of your favorite roof camper, and get close to their walls.
Is the goal here, and obviously in this attack phase, as a reminder, you can't actually go and raid. That's what the raid phase is for, but you can get some PvP points, so that's what, that can kind of be inadvertently starting your raid off. If someone hasn't finished their build, obviously when that build phase finishes, you get what's called pretty much a footprint of your base. You can't really build outside of that footprint, but you can rebuild anything that was previously in your footprint. So, if someone is maybe, a little bit struggling, maybe they're rebuilding, and you just go over you're maybe pestering them, you're getting some PvP, you're getting some shots into their base, it can be harder for them, and maybe harder for them to, go out and get information, go out and maybe repair their base, and maybe they're not as prepared going into the raid phase.
No, that's a fair point. They might not be, especially if they get held up trying to hatch things up and get things finished up. Definitely be problematic once you move into that raid phase if things aren't up to the quality that you were going for.
Not something you want, because we got some experienced teams in here. We got some experienced players that show up week after week, and that does give me a good reminder. If you are a player that maybe wants to show up week after week, wants to participate in these tournaments, make sure to join the Base Invaders Discord. Got everything. We got these tournaments, got modded servers. You saw all that and everything more in that intro. So if you want to participate, or maybe you want to be a caster like Doc here, you can join the Discord.
Come on in. Always need more people. Players, more casters.
Yeah, it's true. Always love to expand the community here, but some teams expanding once again on their lead. I'm definitely going to butcher this name. Maripol, I think, in first right now.
That's what I was going to guess.
Okay, we'll go with it. We'll say it. Okay. Like I said, if you are in chat or anything, please correct us, because I know I'm historically bad with names. I'm really bad. So, but yeah.
Right now, it's difficult.
Yeah, 47 points for this squad. They're sitting in first place. As a reminder, again, every 30 seconds that you sit over here at this hard point, you will gain some extra 2 points. So that's going to be nice. But as well, if another team does go and contest, we've seen before, it's 8-mans. You can kind of spare one guy to just go sit, literally hide in like the side on one of the buildings, and they don't earn points because you're just sitting there, standing there. So it could be useful from one of the teams, but right now they are just really racking up those points. So I'm excited to see if they continue to do so.
Yeah, they certainly are. Dolga and Marupol are kind of fighting for that first and second spot, but Marupol got them by 9 points. Oh, now it's down to 8, but they've held pretty much between like 7 and 10 for a while here now. They're doing a pretty good job of maintaining that, but their lead's slowly getting whittled away right now by Dolga.
Right. Yeah, slowly getting whittled away here. And the most important thing is, leads are cool and everything, but if you lose your base, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, you you can have the lead by a mile, but if your base gets wiped, bye.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready to go here. We're already 10 minutes into the attack phase, and the next patrol helicopter should be spawning semi-soon here. So some more points will be available. Oh, there you go. Speak of the devil, and it comes inbound.
Nice call. Right as soon as you finish it, patrol helicopter inbound. We'll see who gets this one this time. They knocked it out of the sky real fast last time, so we'll see about that one.
Yeah, and because we do have less amount of teams here, if maybe one of those teams maybe closer towards the shore maybe get it, it might not be as contested. But if it is going to land in, a massive, area, you see all those bases right in the middle there. If it lands there, it's going to be a fight.
I kind of hope it does. I want to see the all-out battle between all of those bases built so close to each other there.
Yeah.
If one of these is out. What's going on here?
This is a chunker. I'm not gonna lie.
She's a little thick.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I got the symmetrical design. Okay.
It's pretty and it's massive. Looks like they've got a lot of external walls. I don't believe those are connected to their main building, so on external TC maybe.
Yeah, it's a possibility. And yeah, they got that
maybe
separated.
it is. Oh yeah, they've got it gapped. Okay, I see a lot of peek downs. Pretty defendable for sure.
Yeah, it's very defendable. I think the one thing I'm kind of semi-worried about for this team is they are on the shore. They are one of the teams that's a little bit further away. That means they're going to have to, travel a little bit more distance to maybe go get some bases that are around them. We do have some people maybe sniffing around their base, maybe looking to see if they can, or maybe just looting up some resources. But yeah, I'm kind of worried, that we always worry about that on shore teams, that, they usually build nice, highly defendable bases. But the question is, can they match that with the points?
Certainly having a defendable base is great, like we said earlier. If your base gets wiped, really nothing else matters. But also being so far away, like you mentioned, it's going to keep you behind on points. You're not going to have as many opportunities. It's going to be a little bit harder to get to another base for an attack, especially if you've got a little ways to go. Oh, here we see the helicopter going down. Is that one man fighting it by himself?
It's dangerous. Not going to lie.
I mean, it's dangerous, but if he pulls this thing by himself and he can hold the area down, he's got a solid shot at getting all those points for his team by himself, which would be a huge W for him.
Yeah, that would be a massive W here, and he does have aggro locked off of it, so it will be targeting him. But as we know, the helicopter does fire back, so you gotta be a little bit careful about that. Some nice shots though. We'll send that thing on fire. Should be going down here pretty soon. It should be, like you said, just a one-man army, and it's not going to drop in between all those bases. A really good job for this team to cut it off at the shoreline and draw that aggro in.
No, they played that very well. Hopefully he can clutch it out by himself. He doesn't have any backup, so if he gets hit with a lucky rocket or something, it's going to be a problem. Hopefully he's got a bag or a bed somewhere nearby, but I don't know how much that's going to help him.
Yeah, that's true. I'm hoping. It's laying down rockets. It's laying down a barrage. It's a one-man army. Just trying to take down this thing. Again, 15 points would be up and available for this take. And there it is. A one-man solo on the patrol helicopter.
I did fall a little bit farther away from him than I'm sure he was hoping for. So he's got to move over there and secure that. Keep an eye on it. That ridge could be dangerous if he's hanging out down there. Somebody could maybe try to flank up on it. He might not see it, but it's pretty empty over there, so they'd have to cross pretty far out of their way to keep out of his line of sight.
Right.
Oh, he's got a mini. He's moving.
Yeah, he's moving and grooving over to the fires. Obviously, like we've talked about before, they will take a little bit of time there to, go out, and you got to be a little bit careful of some other players maybe looking to take that from you. But it looks like pretty barren, like you said, over here. So maybe build some walls up, build yourself a little campfire, sit there, and just sit and relax for a little bit as those fires expire.
Pretty much just hang out, wait, and hope nobody comes and tries to steal your loot.
What do we have here? Oh, baby.
The base looks like a little flower.
Yeah.
From the
Defensibility?
top.
I don't know, but
they got a decent shooting floor at least. Not so sure about those peak downs. The roof, not terrible. A lot of gaps, easily accessible for people on the bottom. Honestly, I think it'd be a little too easy to ladder up through that roof with all those gaps. Personally, but you do you.
Yeah, that's true. You do you. We can't stop you.
Looks like they've got some honeycomb to finish yet. Doesn't look like they quite finished.
Yeah, and I don't think they can finish because we're in the attack phase now. That the blueprint is already there for them, so they can't really expand more outside of their base again. Only can repair at this moment. That's what that building phase is for. So maybe a little bit unfortunate. It looks like possibly going around to visit. And once again, this team, as well, their base might not be the strongest, but it is once again, it's not the base, it's the players inside the base that are defending it.
Well, that's definitely true, but having a tanky base really does help, especially when it's got a lot of defense. More good peaks, better spawns. You got your loot spaced out right as far as kits, so you can grab stuff right away and get back to it. All these factors really add up to whether or not you're going to have a successful raid defense. This is a very interesting one. Lots of loot just hanging out there in the middle.
Yeah, it really does look like this team wants to prioritize that roof control. They got a lot of beds up there as well. They got some of that high qual as protecting themselves for that roof. And like you said, it is an absolute chonker. This is a tanky base. I'm excited to see. And this is one of our top teams. This is Dog. So no wonder they're one of the top teams. They got a good base to go alongside of it. And as we've seen throughout these events, really the roof is a very vital point of attack. So if you lose your roof, it's honestly really hard to defend your base in general. So, they're really prioritizing that, putting their loot up there, putting their beds up there, and putting that high quality to even protect themselves.
Most definitely. It's once somebody has control of your roof, your options for fighting that are really limited. You're not going to be able to shoot at them from the ground unless they're peeking over the edges. And well, now your peek downs are just as much of a bane to your existence as it was to them. Yeah. Plus, you're going to have less ways up onto the roof, especially with the player count. They're going to be able to easily watch multiple doors. See, they have many doors to exit up onto their roof here on this base. But with 8 people, 4 people keep an eye on those doors pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that tide turning that, all those things like, oh, this is going to be so good for our defense. We'll build these nice peak downs. And all of a sudden, they have those peak downs, they have all those things, and it's a very unfortunate scenario. But we're over halfway through the attack phase here, and still it's going to be Maripol there up in the first place slot on the leaderboard, almost at 100 points already. Dog slowly behind them have been keeping up in that second place, and so PvP still going on through and around here. So excited to see, again, you get that 10 extra points for getting that first place. There'll also be 1 more patrol helicopter, so could be a jump in the leaderboard if anybody else takes that.
Could definitely be a jump on the leaderboard if they clutch that one up. I do want to point out, Maripol was, I was going to say they were at almost 20 points ahead, and right now they're sitting about 15 points ahead, so they've managed to extend their lead out again. They're doing phenomenal here so far.
Yeah, you love to see that. Early leads are very nice. I'm excited to see this team go forward into that raid phase, because sometimes before we've seen, teams that take the hard point, teams that are maybe more focused on PvP in these earlier stages. Yes, it's nice to have that lead, but at the same time, when we see, 3-mans, 4-mans, there's a couple maybe of those easier bases that are going to be targets. And if you're not going out getting information, if you don't have a target that you're like, this is going to be our first raid, this is where we're going to succeed first, you could fall out behind very, very quickly. Again, a raid is worth 40 points. Their lead is half of that right now.
That's a very valid point. Raids are worth a huge amount of points, and it can really change who's sitting where on the field. Hopefully, like we talked about earlier, they've had some players out scouting, planning where they're going to go. Like you said, it's going to be very important that they pick their targets carefully and just play things right.
Yeah. 100% here as we are approaching again about 10 minutes. We will get that next patrol helicopter here in about a minute. So getting a lot of chunky bases, a lot. I'm excited to see again what this chaos is going to ensue around, where kind of all these like neighborhood of death is what we usually call it, where there's 5 or 6 bases all around each other. And the big thing especially is if you get a raid started on you, it's going to be hard to stop it because there's so many people around, and as human nature, we're just going to try and dogpile on. So if you hear a sound cue that somebody else is getting raided, you're like, okay, let's go onto it. We could use less resources. We could try and maybe steal away that raid. And for a team defending, you're talking about, we talk about 8 mans is nice to defend, but you're talking about 8 on attack and then 16, 24. It goes up and up.
The time limits do keep increasing. And the thing, too, about those raids coming up is if you're raiding somebody, you've not only got to worry about the defenders, and there's a lot of them, you've also got to worry about potentially just as many counters. And you don't have a lot of cover. So, I mean, you got to get into that compound at the very least rather quickly on these bases. Get some kind of defendable position for outside of the base from the inside, as well as being able to keep an eye on the roof, peaks, the doors, everything. There's a lot to keep track of if you're playing in one of these matches.
Yes, there surely is, and looks like Gorilla, they have already set up a raiding platform here, so they got some beds going, they got some walls up and around it, and they're going to be looking to target Momo here, so an interesting target to be their first, I think, it's going to be a good one for them. And obviously, you can't really shoot those rockets out until that raid phase will go in, so I think they're just getting prepared, though. I like to see this, getting that early preparation. Again, in 10 minutes, they will be able to get there, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to this. They do have a lot of beds there, some boxes, got their loot ready. A good job defending that position. They got a lot of exterior walls. The question is, has Momo noticed that they've set that up behind those walls? Hopefully, I mean they've got some peaks up on their roof. They noticed and are planning for that. But if not, that could put them in a dire situation right off the rip.
Yeah. That's very true, and I also like what Momo's doing, kind of, pushing outside of their base. You talked about getting inside that outer compound wall is such a huge thing for that team on the offense. So Momo, they're sending players out to contest them at those walls. They're making sure that, they have the closer respawn point. They're going to have advantage in re-grabbing those kits. They could possibly go out and re-grab them off the ground as well. So I think it's really smart to try and keep them out of that compound wall, but they have beds right there as well. And Gorillas, it seems like their PvP is working pretty well. I mean, 4th place overall right now on the day. So they've been doing some good things. They haven't been just slacking.
No, not slacking at all. All these teams really putting in a lot of work here right now, trying to get set up here. Only a little under 8 minutes left here in that attack phase. So everybody's just trying to get situated here, finish planning where they're going to go. Hopefully some other people taking cues here from Gorilla and setting up their raid platforms and starting to hold things down where they plan on raiding. They are running out of time to get ready.
Yep, running out of time. That's the whole kind of memo of the day is you're not going to get more time. That's the biggest thing. As time expires, you're going to lose it, and you don't get any more of it unless you want to come back next week for EU. And obviously we'll have NA a little bit later today, but not running out of time is this team right here. They are going to very quickly take down this patrol helicopter, and look at that landing. It's half inside their base.
Yeah, they've got it very close to them. That's great. They do have a couple of the Dole players running around now, so that could be a concern for LP. Looks like Dole's got the outside of their base pretty much secured. It might be Dole picking up that patrol instead of LP.
Yeah,
more than likely.
Could be. It really, really could be. And, this is kind of, we've seen the first 2 patrol helicopters kind of land in isolated areas with no real fight towards them. This is kind of what happens. You set up to this early, and you do have to realize that there is still that fire timer. So you have to defend it for so long. And it's, once again, time as a resource here, because you could be using time to go out and invest and look at other bases. You could be, going getting those PvP points. And instead, if you're spending 5 minutes right here watching these crates, which is, like you said, very, very contested, the overall question is it worth it?
I mean, getting this close to raid phase, I can't imagine it would really be worth it here for LP at least.
Right.
Maybe for Dog for sure. Pick up those couple extra points. That 15 will put you very close to Maple here. So that would definitely help out. Actually, that would push him past him.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Be close.
They'd be tied, actually. They'd tie right now if they picked up, what was it, 15 points per crate, or was it total? Sorry.
Total. Yeah.
Total, yeah. So if they got all those crates, they'd be tied right now.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah, a
A little bit past them now. Now they'll take the lead. They're still racking up these points in this fight. They're doing a really good job. They pick those up. They'll take first place moving into raid. They're playing it very well.
And I think to your point, LP doesn't really have a choice to be here. They built their base here, so they're kind of stuck.
They are kind of stuck. Looks like making a break outside of the compound here. Okay. LP fighting Doe 2v1. Ooh, Doe pushes up hard.
No.
Gets both of them?
Almost both.
Oh, almost both. Got 1.5.
Yeah, that was scary. That was.
I thought he got both of them. He was about to be in their base. That was going to be very dangerous for LP.
Yeah, and they left that door open too, like you're saying. That was could have been an unfortunate scenario, but nonetheless, we move on from it as we'll see some more fighting kind of going up on the ridge around this one. And we do have a couple minutes left here in this attack phase. And once again, as a reminder, 10 points for the team that finishes in that first place slot after the attack phase. I'll get that extra points. It'll boost them up a little bit more. And importantly, we haven't talked about just yet, going into this raid phase, there is going to also be raid defense points. So we talked about, the juicy 40 points for getting that TC, but as well, if you defend a team off your base, if you push them back, depending on the duration of the time they were raiding, you'll get some defense points to boost you as well.
Yet another way to clutch up some victory points here in this game. So got to make sure you're splitting your team evenly between going out and attacking somebody else and staying back and guarding your base. The question is, who are you going to put where? Who's going to be a stronger fit on offense, defense? Right. There's a lot of planning, a lot of strategy involved in this. It's like a 40 game of chess with guns.
Pretty much, yeah. And usually there are those defined roles that we see. And, sometimes in 8-mans, it can get kind of murky because, usually there's some smaller team sizes, usually 4, 5, 3s. And, going into these, you're picking up maybe some other team members from other teams. You're kind of mixing and matching. And you could have 2 builders that are really good at building on both their different teams, but maybe they have to agree on a design that's going to work for them together. Maybe you have some people that are really good at PvP, and it's just about working towards, what your team has in its strong suits. Because you can afford with these 8-mans as well to literally just have someone as like the siren man, like be at home, be like, okay, I'm literally going to listen for sound cues, watch for players, and if anyone comes close, I'm going to start screaming into the comms.
Another great way to do it, don't focus on defense until you need to, but with the amount of players on the field with these teams, how close everybody is, I don't know that many of these guys are going to have an opportunity to just sit by themselves in a base without seeing somebody show up very quickly. There's only 3 minutes left, just under. Hopefully these guys, we've seen a few more raid platforms set up around a few of these bases here. Lots of people trying to get into compounds early, trying to take things over. And oh, hey, Dog took the lead away from Marple. They've got it by a lot of points, and they're just climbing rapidly. They're getting close to being 20 points ahead now, which they've gained like 40 in no time.
Yeah. I assume it has to be assisted a little bit by the patrol helicopter. You mentioned that they were kind of right on top of that. They should have been able to claim those crates. But as well, you were talking about their PvP was really on point. They were getting a lot of PvP points as well. So Dolg, yeah, like you said, in the late stages of this attack phase have, regained that lead. They are looking very strong. We can see our full leaderboard with all 19 teams there. I believe we might see that be reduced by the end of today with all the rating that's going to go on.
Oh, I am very sure that list is going to drop a few names off rather quickly. But just minute 45 here left to go. We've got a lot going on here still. Looks to me like, is that all Pop Smoke down in there? No, that's some Torrential in Team Pop Smoke's base.
They're in there.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem for Pop Smoke.
Yeah, That's a slight problem. You got some players in your base. It looks like there's also a gap in between that outer compound wall, so they were just able to walk right on in, saunter on in towards this wall. But it doesn't look like they have like a bed or any kind of setup going, so they're kind of just YOLOing it right now, seeing how much PvP points they can grab. Oh, no, I thought they had some beds, and maybe they're setting up a raid platform actually right now. That's what it looks like.
Exactly what they're doing. Yep, that's 100% what they're doing. They've got a little bit of cover on those wooden walls. The Tarantula players here putting down those beds, getting set up. Teammates keeping Pop Smoke from peeking out and taking a look at things. A lot of beds going down here. Everybody's got one. I'm sure he's going to throw down some loot boxes here for his team. They're going to get some rockets and boom going, and they're going to be underway here real soon. Just 45 seconds left. They waited till the last second to throw this down, but I don't really think he's got anything to worry about since his team's keeping them pinned down so well.
Yeah. They are looking good to go here. Got those beds all set up. Got that loot crates all set up as well. Can store some of those kits. And that's important to note as well. The PvP points only do count if you kill someone with a kit on. You know, it doesn't count if you're just out here slaying nakeds, if you're spawn camping. So that is an important thing to note.
Spawn camping nakeds, generally regarded as a not nice move.
No, that's why you don't get points.
Oh, we got people climbing their base already here. Look at that.
Yeah, climbing the base, and that's what it's going to be as we get on into this raid phase. Hard points no longer active, no more points for those, but it is immediately raiding. We're seeing the preparation kind of go in and through here from this Tarantula squad who is going in. It looks like they're a ladder, and they have blown a hole somewhat through this like maybe mid-floor area, and they want to go in even further.
Well, they've gotten through their top floor honeycomb here. Should be quickly in through the base, I believe, after this one. Oh, we got some rocket PvP raining down from above. That could be a problem for Tarantula. It's pretty hard to dodge rockets. Oh, we're inside here already. They've got made their way inside. Walker, a little bit of loot peeks in, trying to shoot them off their own roof. That's what I was talking about earlier. You've got all these peek downs, these good opportunities, these like little ankle biters right here. But it's also just as a problem for you because now they're in a spot where they can see it. Ooh, that bed gets destroyed real quick with that rocket.
Destroying those beds is an important thing. Delete some of those respawn points for the team inside. And as well, you mentioned there was some rockets flying back and forth. It is important to note that rocket PvP, the damage is majorly reduced, so you can't just be spamming out those rockets in your own base towards the other opponents. But it is good to note that, you know, there is a transition time between the rocket and the rifle. It's about a second between switching between them. So you gotta have, you know, if you are raiding with the team, you need to have someone that always has the rifle out, because if you're caught with that rocket out and an enemy player just walks in, you're gonna be caught with your pants down.
Oh, most definitely. You can see Tarantula here making pretty good headway. They're keeping the doors pinned pretty well. Pop Smoke really seems like they're struggling to fight this one off. And as well, if you look over at the leaderboard here real quick, Dole has extended their lead by almost 30 points. They are killing it over where they're at. And Tarantula is also doing just as well, making their way through Pop Smokes.
Yeah. Dole got those extra 10 points from winning that attack phase on out, meaning they will be 30 points ahead of the rest of the competition. Tarantula, though, a raid that definitely needs to be successful for them for how much of a lead Dole has built up so far over that attack phase. But they're going to be blowing down through some of these triangles, through some of these hatches here, and see what they can find. And again, as we kind of break through some of these bases, you can see down towards that lower part is that advent calendar type base where you have so many doors there out on the outside, and the TC could be in any one of them.
TC could be anywhere, and with bases like this, man, it's really confusing. I don't imagine most of these guys are ripping off YouTube bases like you're playing the Vanilla 2X or a vanilla server. So it's a lot of guesswork, but I like, you know, the more you come against these teams, I kind of figure out what they like to do, makes things a little bit easier. Plus, if you've got people running around scouting, give you a little bit more of a better idea. It looks like it's more defended, and they're trying to make their way through here. So far, not really finding anything of value.
Yeah. Targeting this high qual a little bit more, it seems like. Maybe looking a little bit suspicious to an outside person, but could just be, you know, some extra high qual on the inside. We've seen that before, that high qual sometimes used as a bait, where they're like, oh, look, this is the only high qual wall. Look right here, blow it up. And then all of a sudden you've wasted all those rockets in C4 and there's nothing behind there.
Speaking from experience, one of my favorite base designs to use involves having a fully armored core that isn't actually core. I end up moving it to another location later on after my build, and every time I've been raided, they go down to where they think core is because it's all armored. They think it's there, they get there, and there's just an empty note that says, ha, ha. And they get real mad.
I would too. I'm not going to lie, because it's that psychological effect of these bases. That's some of these builders absolutely masterminds, absolutely able to design those bases fully, but no TC just yet as they continue clearing down through this mid section of the floor. And personally, this team's train of thought is that it's not in one of those outside advent calendar walls. They think it's actually more towards this, middle side, or they could just be breaking into this part, for some, movement around the base. The more you open it up, the more you can freely flow around it, some more protection that actually is yours.
Most definitely. And they are making progress little by little here, door after door, working their way through, but there sure are a lot of doors in the way here for them. Break through, maybe on two sides here, trying to find it, but this might just be a loop. I have a sinking feeling it might just be going in a circle. This might not be the W that they were looking for right here.
Yeah, this is like the... Oh! LP is actually eliminated by Dolg already here. So Dolg, we saw them pushing out to get that patrol helicopter, but you see all those red circles on the map, so many raids going on. Dolg actually got inside of the base and got a successful raid off in only 6 minutes.
Dolg once again showing up and putting in that work. Now they've got an 80-point lead. Yeah, just under 80-point lead. They are crushing it right now.
They are looking good, that is for sure here. Well, this base isn't looking too good right now. It's got somewhat a hole through the middle, you might say. It's got some rockets continue to be raining on down. So I have an interesting feeling about this one that it may not stand for too much longer.
Probably not. This base is starting to look a little bit like Swiss cheese. Doesn't really seem like this team's able to get the attackers out of here whatsoever.
Does not seem that way. We'll check on some other raids that are going up and around here. Again, some teams doing their homework and trying to get there. It looks like these two teams, they're not actually raiding each other. They're just trying to putting some pop shots. They're kind of roof raiding. They're like, we'll just shoot from here, from the safety of our beds in our home.
Well, I guess that is one way to play it, but I don't believe that's going to be a way that you're going to rack up nearly enough points right now, especially with the lead that some of these teams have. These top three teams are far and away well and above the competition. You're talking a 20-point gap here between third and fourth, and the lead just keeps jumping after that.
Yeah, that's very true. And talking about that, the lead will be an interesting thing to kind of watch. Maybe further down the line, it doesn't really, matter as much now. But the higher your lead, the bigger target you're going to have on your back. So for Dolg, if you continue up this lead, if you continue doing some good things here, it's nice to have that lead. But at the same time, we talked about it, you lose your base, you're done. So being at the top of that leaderboard does put a big target on your back.
Most certainly does. Hopefully, Dolg can manage to hold up on the pressure. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job here so far.
Right.
I really can't say too much. Still a 70-point lead over second place Marupol. Just doing a great job keeping up the pressure. They can't let up yet. They've still got a lot of time to go, so they're going to need to make sure that they stay on top of that one.
Yep, gotta stay on top of it, stay on top of the time as well here. And it's kind of like you said, it was a circle. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I had a feeling once they kept turning right there, I was like, you're kind of just going in a loop, man. I think you got absolutely jebaited by the builder, and they did. That was a waste of a decent bit of boom going through all those doors.
It's like the horror movie where, like, you see, like, the same tree, like you're going in a circle or whatever, but it's just... Oh, man.
Looks like maybe some progress here. Another door up high through this. Got some C4 on here, right to another door. Throw a ladder. Oh, we're just chucking C4 from afar. Hopefully that gets them somewhere. Blow up. Let's see what we got here. One more C4 blow up to go. Another door. Oh no! Please don't be another circle.
That'd be a really funny base. It's just all circles. Oh man. Maybe.
All circles. TC's not actually behind a door. It's actually in just between 3 armored walls in a triangle. They can't access it, but neither can you.
That would be funny, unfortunately, against the rules. Gotta have access to it, gotta have that door, window, whatever it may be, as it might be funny to put it in the middle of 3 armored doors, and you may not have access it. That also means, like you said, they don't either have access to it.
That would be a little too cheesy. Yeah. It would be funny, though. I'd be furious if I came across that one for sure.
Yeah. That'd be a little bit infuriating. You're going in circles and circles, and then all of a sudden it's just not there. But 10 minutes into this raid phase already, some teams already got some points, including Dolg, who we saw already get the attack helicopter earlier in the attack phase. Now with that next one, it's also going to be Pop Smoke, eliminated by Tarantula here. It looks like I don't actually know where it was.
I don't either. Let's see if we can't find this bad boy. Probably through those doors that they were blowing through. Had to be that direction. Somewhere in here, I believe. No? This is the circle. Yep, this is the circle right here that they wasted all that boom going through. It did end up succeeding for them eventually, though.
Yeah. And you said they were putting good effort down, so I expected them to eventually get through it, but I was kind of the belief that they actually put it in one of those outside advent calendar doors, but this team knew too well, maybe, you know, knowing the base design, knowing the builder maybe a little bit, and very good job, you know, get some points on the board and get themselves into second place.
They did a fantastic job grabbing that spot away from Marple. Now they've got a over a 10-point lead here, clawed their way into second place. Now they've got to focus up on Dolg, who still have a relatively massive lead over the competition. However, you know, another raid win here for Tarantula or Marple is going to skyrocket them back to being pretty close, within closing distance for sure. Still way too much time to call it for any of these teams. For all we know, Dolg could get wiped off the map next.
That's true. Yeah, there's so much time left for these teams. And it's going to kind of be that, you know, switch maybe around that 45-minute mark that right now you think, okay, we got too much time. There's too much to do. And you know, we're fine. We got a lot of time to recover. And then once you get like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, you're like, okay, now we don't have enough time. There's too much for us to do here going into the final minutes.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure you're watching your time. Make sure you're keeping up on that plan. Don't want to get yourself caught behind with not enough time to complete your task. So, you know, just keep an eye on things. Make sure you know what's going on, and just be careful. Be cautious.
It's true. Very, very true here. Well, one of our teams that was kind of out on their lonesome has started to become a target here, it looks like. Some builds being built out in the outside field. Gorilla is looking to target this base here out in the desert. It looks like they have a nice little raid platform going a little bit further back. They got some nice walls to get them through this desert here. And overall, they flew here by helicopter, so they're fully set up, and really they're the only team here fighting this team.
And let's keep in mind, we were talking about this base earlier on in the stream. This one looks like they did not get their base completed in time. Right. You can see a lot of triangle foundations around the outside. They started to build up honeycomb, but they didn't make it very far. I'm curious as to what the problem was here with them getting their base done. Lots of holes in the compound here, whether that was intentional or not. But they are deep done for sure. Their base is looking like some mincemeat.
Yeah, it also
I'm sure how far. Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay. I was just gonna say it also has stone in there.
They did not get their base upgraded at all. Now, maybe a stone wall's kind of a ploy to get you to go the wrong way. Maybe see that from time to time. Put kind of a weak wall somewhere and kind of invite the boom to go through that way. No, that could have also been something they missed inside of honeycomb, couldn't quite get back to it, accidentally upgraded some around it.
That's true.
Things like that do happen. There's a lot of reasons that could exist, but whatever the reason be, it doesn't look like it's helping them here so far.
Yeah, it could be kind of that reverse of what we said before, you know. Sometimes you have that, you know, high quality, you're like, okay, yeah, it's right here, this is the bait, but it also could be, you know, just that they didn't get it repaired. But it is going to be more C4 going through this base, and we'll see actually if this will help them out or not. They're going to be targeting this high qual on the lower floor, but behind that door is a person. Oh man, Gorilla was prepared though.
That is a person, a lot of loot, but that one man did not stand a chance. Couple of armored doors for them to get through here. Oh, we see some lying in wait here right behind these doors. Is he going to be able to fight off this massive group of people staring him in the face? Ooh, both doors going in at once. We got simultaneous breaching, but nobody's holding down the other door, so there we go. Getting out in front of it here. And they close the other door. One more to go before they get into here. Oh yeah, they're fighting through the hatch. The question is, oh, he's moving through. Okay, smart man, waiting for the boom. Back up a little bit, open the hatches, get ready to shoot. Now he is going to lose that respawn place, though. That's going to get destroyed pretty much instantly. And running out of spots to go pretty quick, and now they're in that loot room. There might be some spots for them to get some more loot out of you, take some more stuff away. Hopefully maybe they move some stuff before they got this far into their base, but clearly they're going the right way so far.
Yeah, they have found a lot of loot to work with, and that's going to be an important thing kind of throughout the day is you don't want to really go back and farm. You want to have, consistent raiding going, and that is if you get successful raids. We talked about the kill there. Gorillas does get traded out there. We'll be able to get that respawn, but yeah, you got to keep getting a boom and C4 from each and every one of these bases, because if you go to a base, if it gets stolen from you, or maybe you just don't get it successful, you wasted all that boom. And we are not going to waste any time here, because we got the TC blowing through. The C4 should do it. Very good job here. They've blown through it. Gorilla will be the eliminators of Feyrix.
Feyrix, unfortunately for them, are out of that one. Gorilla clutch up another one, get some more points on the board, and they're looking pretty good as well. Let's take a look at that leaderboard here. 276 for Dolg. Their closest competitor is still Tarantula at 194. This gap getting so close to 100 points. Dolg is just putting in the work. Somebody's going to have to stop them if they want to take this.
Yeah, somebody has to, that is for sure. But there's a lot of teams, like you said, a lot of time still to go here. But a pretty massive lead they have built up. Still about 80 points, keeping up and ahead of anyone that wants to try and contest them. But for right now, Gorillas, that's a huge TC. Like we talked about, gets themselves into third place. It's not a bad position to be in with about an hour and 15 minutes left. But some more teams being the target. We talked about non-stop raiding going on here. So it looks like another base is going to be targeted.
Another base on the docket for attack here. A Tarantula trying to step up, hopefully trying to get past Dolg here. But they've got a sizable lead to overcome, so they're going to need more than just a base to get there for sure. They're going to need a lot of these points from PvP. Hopefully that'll help them out as well. They are climbing as they go through for sure, but they're going to have a little bit of work cut out for them getting through this monstrosity.
Yeah. Some doors are open as well. A couple garage doors open here in the top floor. Don't like to see that as much, but sometimes just, you forget to do it. And yeah, this base is somewhat in shambles, I would have to say. Somewhat of the mid floor, lower floor has been taking the brunt of that rocket damage. And they're breaking once again up through these garage doors, give themselves some more access towards other parts of the base. I'm excited to see where this one is. But yeah, this base looks pretty soon to fall, I'm sorry to say.
More than likely, there's maybe a little bit of loot here for these guys as they go their way up. Clearly, they're also going in the right direction here so far. Just trying to find that TC, spamming C4 like nobody's business. Bottomless C4.
Wow. Dolg take another base. Wind Whales are going to be eliminated by Dolg. So Dolg, I mean, we talked about them. They were maybe a little bit slow to start off in that attack phase, but man, it seems like they have done their homework.
Clearly, I mean, 336 points. Your nearest competitor's 198. You are running away with it. And I mean, Tarantula's trying to make plays here, but I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get where they want to go. At least not against with the base they're going against currently. They still have yet to get to the one they're currently fighting. Dolg's going to be on to their third one more than likely here now, or they're going to go for a counter. It's really hard to close a gap that's that big.
It is. Yeah, it's really, really tough. And if you're on one of these 8-mans, Doc, if you have the decision to where to put your troops, if you're Dolg right now, how many people are maybe you keeping back?
Man, at this point with a lead like this, you've got to have at least, for now, keep like 3 people.
Yeah.
4 maybe for now. Just keep an eye on the base. I mean, you could probably get away with 2, but at least so you have something to keep the fort pressed down, and if something happens, you need to go somewhere, you can send them out or bring them back. But yeah, I'd say at least 2 to 3 just on your base to keep an eye on things for sure.
Yeah, that sounds really smart, and I assume they would hopefully take your advice here, because as we talked about, the lead does not matter if your base gets dropped off, so that's the big thing they got to watch out for. A big target on their back right now. Tarantula, they're going to get over 200 points as some other teams close to follow them as well, and this base, it's like it is close to fall. And we haven't talked about it as much yet, but as bases start to fall off the bottom of the list, it is going to mean harder and harder base. You're talking about more and more experienced teams as time goes on throughout the raid phase. So the later you are in the raid phase trying to earn those points, actually the harder it's going to be to get those points.
For sure. I think we talked about that a bit earlier as well. The longer you wait, the less time you have to get things done.
Yep.
And I mean, clearly we saw a lot of these teams hop on it right away. A couple of those teams slow to start, like you mentioned. Dolg was one that was pretty slow to start. It took them a while to start climbing, but oh my goodness, once they did, they were on it.
Seems like it is just absolutely exponential with them. They are not stopping as well. Again, continuing to get some PvP points. And like you said, I assume they're going to another base. They're getting ready to go. They are looking for even more points to extend their lead and hold it even more comfortably. But yeah, those big raids definitely helped out. Those attack helicopters in there as well. But finally, Fast will be eliminated by... Sorry, Fun will be eliminated by Fast. Excuse me.
Yep, Fast still in this one, and with that, they moved themselves into second place. They were sitting a little bit farther down there. They got a lot of points in that raid. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was on point for them. That's a huge jump on the leaderboard, as we talked about. Some of the other teams slowing down just a little bit. Dolg is not, so they are still 120 points behind. It's a lot, but you still got time.
That is a fat lead for sure. Dolg putting in the work, but I keep talking about still lots of time. Hour and 10 minutes left in this raid phase here. So I mean, realistically, like we keep talking about, if their base gets wiped, it's over. It doesn't matter if they've had the lead and putting in all this work. I am interested to see when they're gonna get like heavily attacked though. I'm sure they've had a bit going on, but as of right now, we've got Marble trying to take stuff away from... Is this too much here? We've got Vram outside as well. We've got a little bit of counteraction. This is 3 teams fighting over one base.
Yeah, also GLFH is going to be eliminated there by Dimekint. I think I said that right. We'll go with that. The team now in 3rd place. Another elimination going off the board. And you can see we are already down. We're already losing some of those teams. You said that leaderboard was going to get cut down. It was going to get explosive, and it has. Already down to 13 teams here.
13 teams left to go. Several more to drop out along the way, I'm sure. And the amount of explosions going on here in front of this base, they're blowing up some of these cover walls, it seems like. Just getting rid of opportunities for people to hide behind. Purple making their way into this base, trying to get to that TC. Obviously, a lot of this base broken apart here already. We've got some beds down here making their way here through. I don't think those beds exist anymore. No, they do not. He got out of there at the last second. Good timing on closing that door.
Yeah, very, very good timing. Do not want to get caught behind a rock in a hard place when someone else is doing that raid on yourself. So it is going to be interesting to see, how they continue to, take this raid as it does, as they continue on through it. They're looking to go through the bottom floor, I think, try and take out some of the support, some of the mid floor as well. Open this up. The more you open up, the more kind of areas, the more kind of place you can rotate to here.
Honestly, blowing through that wall ends up working out pretty well for them. It blows right into a door. That door could lead them somewhere important.
Or not.
Or probably not. You never know.
That's the fun about Base Invaders, There could be a door behind another door. Or there could be a garage door, or maybe a TC.
Could be a TC. Could be absolutely nothing. Could be a circle again.
Oh, a circle. Did I love circles?
I like circles when I'm not trying to blow through the doors and end up in one.
100% agreed. They're doing the multi-modal attack here, though, as they break through some different doors that'll lead themselves some different ways. No TC just yet, but they'll find some more doors up here behind the garage doors, as I actually might suspect it might be behind one of these garage doors / door sets, because there's a lot of doors up here. They don't really have an advent calendar bottom, so it definitely could be there.
It definitely could be, and like you mentioned, blowing through as many doors as possible is going to open up the most avenues of pass. They can't hide their TC behind a door if there are no doors to hide behind.
That's true.
So they are making good progress on that, and of course the rocket raid still continuing, taking care of melting away that honeycomb, those doors, those walls, trying to work their way into it. Roof here still not super congested.
Too bad. They got a couple more garage doors to go here on that mid-level, as those rockets will continue on through, get some splash damage, some area damage to blow them the same time at once here. Some more doors as well, so I'm excited to see if they can get behind these two doors to the left. If they get behind these garage doors, maybe, find it. Like you said, if you blow up all the doors, there's no place for them to hide it, so we'll see if they can get through it. Oh, a bed.
Well, the rate they're making, I'm pretty sure they will. A bed's a good sign. Could be the way to go, and that is in that direction. We've seen that in a few of these other bases, following the beds, and it usually leads to the loot, if not their TC. A lot of fighting going on down over here as well. Trying to make their way through, but still not quite finding what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's like the Wizard of Oz, but instead of like a yellow brick road, it's a road of beds that leads to the TC. It's TC City, not Emerald City, okay?
On their way to TC City, they're trying. They're just not making any progress. They must have taken a wrong turn here somewhere, but working their way through. Still a lot of boom going on, a lot of fighting. I'm sure they're going to find it eventually. I mean, they've made it through a large chunk of this base as is. Too much, though. Pushing out, trying to clear some of these raiders. Looks like we dropped to that one, though. Did not succeed in that attempt.
Well, they haven't made to TC City yet, because they had to stop and pick up all their friends. They had to pick up, like, the patrol helicopter that needed courage, and, like, the rocket that needed a heart or something. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know.
That was a hard one to work with, man. I don't know how you're gonna relate Wizard of Oz to Rust. We did try, though. We gave it our best attempt.
We gave it our best. We gave it our best. That's all you can ever do. Yeah. But still blowing through this mid floor here. Still looking to see if they can take down some of these garage doors and get themselves that big 40 points. Because again, the longer you spend on a raid, the more likely actually that those sound cues are gonna be heard by teams around you that might be like, oh, a free raid, let me go steal that from you.
And keep in mind, you could wait. You could try to bide your time, wait till you think they're close to TC, and then just run in there, kill a couple of people, and bada bing, bada boom, 1 C4 through a sheet metal door, and you've got TC, and those points are yours.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, is those points on the leaderboard. Now as well, you do gain, like we talked about, some other things from the raids. You do get, some nice loot. You get some nice PvP points as well. So that will be the hope for the teams inside, is that they at least get to replenish their resources off of it. But that big 40 points, that's what Dolg has been getting. We talked about that. Dolg still with a pretty good lead. I'd say Fast has cut it down just a little bit, but still about 110 points going into, about a third of the way through this raid phase. Got about an hour left going, and I'm excited to see, again, they haven't maybe gone for more of those DCs, but they are keeping up their points. They're keeping up their lead, and the most important thing is they haven't been, successfully raided yet.
No, they have not. I am interested to see what they've got going on. If somebody's going to make a play against their base, I mean, you take them out, and you're doing everybody in the lobby a service. Look at this, chucking C4 from the roof, jump throw, the three-pointer attempt to blow up these walls, and I mean, they're doing a pretty good job. Just throwing them down on the attackers, just trying to get them to blow up on the way. And well, I guess that's one way to do it.
Yeah. That is one way to do it. And you talk about taking out Dolg as well. For one of these teams, you know, if anyone takes them out, like you said, it will help everyone in the lobby. But if you're one of the top teams, that will help you even more. So if you're fast, if you're Maripol here, if you're Tarantula, if you take them out, you would hold down solo first place. Obviously, it would only be by 40 or 50 points ahead of your constituents. But, you know, that's still, I mean, a good lead to have. And you would take out that team that has been so dominant.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to be planning for it. I can't imagine any of these guys want to let Dole keep running away with their lead. They keep hovering between 100 to 120 points ahead of their nearest competitor every time. If somebody overtakes second place, it's fine. They still have a 120-point lead. They're not really super concerned. So as long as they're keeping their base defended and they're doing a decent job of sending a few guys out for counters, and trying to take a couple of TCs while they can, I mean, it's going to be really hard to stop them unless you wipe them. That's the only way that I could actually see anybody getting past them right now.
Yeah, and it could be that overwhelming thing too, where maybe like, you know, Fast, Maripol, Tarantula, they're all like, oh, we're just going to go raid Dolg, and they're like, oh, funny to see you here. I thought we were the only ones that are going to be raiding. All of a sudden, again, you got 24 people on your base, and we got a TC here. They tried to defend it just a little bit more, but it's going to be over.
That wall.
Yeah.
But not get it up fast enough. Hopefully they've noticed it. They're still getting shot up, though. Nobody's gotten to it yet. The TC is still there.
It's wide
if one of these guys gets out there and places a wall, they're going to have to blow through it again. But they're trying. Here we go. It's too much running up to it. Can one of these guys secure their TC? Nope. They're going to get shot by Maripol camping the TC wall. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Here's too much coming through the inside. He's gonna try and make his way up. I think one of these guys, hopefully, can he make it there and seal his TC? I can't believe this TC is sitting out in the open for this long and it hasn't been hit with a single rocket.
No, it's holding strong.
Actually, kind of insane.
It is.
Nobody can see it.
I don't know how. This thing is holding on here. Just place a wall if you're the team defending.
Oh, one of them just dropped down. Why? Oh no, you dropped all the way down, man. You should have grabbed some material. Oh, here's one. Oh, there's Twig. There's wood. Oh, there's too much right behind you, buddy. It's only wood, brother. You gotta upgrade that boy. Come on. Don't leave the TC wall, Wood. What are you doing?
Oh, there you go.
All right. A little bit of rebuild. The TC still wood for some reason. My brother. Thank you. Okay. I was a little concerned he was just gonna leave it there. That's not good for too much, though. I mean, TC was exposed for a couple of minutes. And nothing happened. They could not get to it at all, and they've got so many people inside the base. I don't know if it's a lack of communication there, or just whoever blew up that wall just didn't see it. I don't know which. Either way, that is a massive W for 2 months right now.
Yeah, there's like nothing to see here. They're just covering it up. They'll repair all those walls. And important to note, obviously, in the rules that you can't just place wood walls down. You do have to at least try to upgrade those towards sheet or that advanced metal for yourself. But they did that. They got it fully repaired, like you said. And there are a lot of people in their base, but a big W. They'll have a successful defense for now. The rest of their base not looking too good, though.
No, the base is not looking too good, and I'm sure it's still only a matter of time. Remember, they are deep inside of that base. They've just got to go through doors. They've just got to find the right set of doors is the problem. And they're already blown back through that wall. They have a decent idea where they're going. That's a miss on that one C4. That's a little too low. Ooh, shots coming out on them.
Yeah, I think they know at this point. Like, this sticks out like a sore thumb. Like,
oh, yeah, for sure. They definitely know where it is, but I mean, they're just not quite there yet. I mean, they kind of fumbled.
There's so many teams here. I think that's the big problem is like too much. They have a good angle to kind of aim out, but there's like two teams running behind each other and they're just like skirmishing behind each other's enemy lines, and too much like, okay, we'll just we'll repair, nothing to see here. We'll just we're patting this down.
Yeah, that's the one thing about counters when you're defending is not only do you have to worry about fighting them, but so does the other team, and that can open up opportunities for you like we saw there. Now one armored wall here between them and TC. Not sure how many doors they have left, but at least just one armored wall, probably still a couple of doors. They've got to get it soon, but it's going a lot slower than you would have thought, considering that TC was, again, just out in the open for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it was out and open to the public. It was like a public library. Anyone could just go in and read the TC, but no one wanted to, sadly. Librarian was like mean or something. I don't know.
Well, now OT, or Too Much and OT, and they're kind of in the same spot here.
Sure.
Too Much just kind of running by. I believe it was OT firing that rocket, I think. I don't think OT is too sure where that TC is then, because they were blowing through the wrong wall to get to it.
Yeah, and look at this. Too Much has sent players outside their base. They will get some kills. They will push these enemy teams back. There's still no outer compound wall for themselves. There's still a lot of players in their base, but somehow they are just finding a way to just defend this base time after time again. Now, again, these players very, very close, and this metal does stick out just a little bit to anyone that is walking by, but this would be a lot of defense points as well for Too Much if they do successfully get that off. And they've been doing good on their PvP, so maybe it is a possibility. They're also doing some donuts there, and they'll back that truck right up on into their base.
Now, having those campers right inside their walls is going to be a massive W for the team. Your respawn options just got bigger, and man, beds are just the best. Those quick respawn times get you back in the fight real fast, and having a mobile set of them is even better.
Yeah. While we were talking about all of this raiding, Dolg has taken another base.
Of course, Dolg did.
Sidor is going to be the next
almost
one
200 points above Marupol, who have, by the way, taken back second place.
I don't even know. Like, they have just been so consistent, so quick with their raid. I mean, I have to assume that they're sending, 6 players to a raid or more. It really seems like, they're sending their full force, but they're being very, very surgical with it. They are getting in, getting out very quickly, not letting any chance for a counter or a steal happen. And yeah, it's like you said, their lead is absolutely massive right now.
Oh, it is astronomical, this lead. I mean, they're sitting at, 180 points almost?
Yeah.
Just shy of 180 points above Marupol and Tarantula right on their heels. Only a 1 point of separation between second and third place, so I imagine we'll see a fair bit of flip-flopping here between the two of them.
Yeah. I assume so. Hopefully some back and forth action as we do are under about an hour left, approaching that halfway marker somewhat soon, about 10 minutes of time here. But another base that it is somewhat got some breathing room, you would say, through it. Some of those advent calendar doors as well, just right on the outside. Outside is looking strong from the one side, but from the other side, maybe not.
Maybe not from the other side. A lot of fighting going on in and around this base. Just so much. There's so many little peaks, so many little corners. Everybody's hiding in the little corner rats, and it's pretty hard to defend all that. And look at that. Oh my goodness. Dumpy absolutely slaughtered a bunch of people there. They didn't know he was there. He just popped up and massacred that whole squad. No problem. That was a massive play here for Dumpy.
Yep, big plays there, big PvP points as well here. And we talked about it, this base, the one side looks good, but from the outside look, it looks like a nice little base. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. There's just maybe one door open, but if you look around the other side, then
there's a little bit of a giant hole all the way through to the middle on the edges there, and a mini bomb. Oh goodness. Hello.
Jeez, man. You're going all out with this raid.
Man, you got a mini you don't need anymore? Throw it at the enemy. Why not?
Right.
There are so many guns and kits out there. Oh my goodness. One person just needs to run there and grab it. You are set to keep on fighting. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's so much loot up and available on the ground. But the question is, like you said, those respawn points, don't know if they are available. A lot of that base being destroyed means most likely a lot of the beds as well.
Here we are with Dolg's base. You see that they had nobody over there at all. They were just sitting pretty by themselves. No wonder they built this lead. They haven't had to defend anything.
Yeah.
Nobody is going after it at all. Now we've got Too Much here once again. It's Marupol.
Yep. In base here, Too Much still trying to hold it down. Again, I'm still surprised this base is still standing. Again, that TC was exposed for about a minute of time there, and now it is just being held behind there, behind some nice armored walls, and no one able to find it just yet. There is still.
And they repaired again, even. That is
did.
the second time they've repaired that sectional wall. I cannot believe this base is holding up as long as it has. Color me very impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm impressed, to say the least. A very good job here. Again, though, those walls, they stick out. They're going to be a target, so most likely it's going to have to be a repair once more. And they really need to go out and clear some of these players. We've seen it before that Too Much has sent some of these players out on some excursion missions to try and take down some of these players that are rocketing, that are, have these beds out in the open. But there are so many players in and around their base that it's hard to kind of get out because there are so many angles looking at them.
Oh, there are way too many angles looking at them. They've still got a lot of holes in their base, too. Keep in mind, like, yes, they've armored that TC, but we all know where it is, and it looks like maybe they're trying to blow around the backside of it, finally. Still going for the direct attack as well, but, I mean, you've got 2 walls there, at least from that side, and only one, I believe that's a sheet metal wall right there between them and TC right after that. So they should be relatively close. It was right behind that wall right there, so... They go around the backside, I think it'd be a little bit easier for them, but they haven't elected to make it. Just go blasting at that armor wall here, trying to get that knocked out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh!
Finally.
Finally. Oh my goodness.
It won't fall
finally
to the outside. It'll fall to the person on the top, it looks like. Throwing some nice C4 down to that one. Marple, very, very good job. It was long and arduous, but you came out successful.
And they fought very hard for that one. That was a long, drawn-out battle, but they do manage to get some points. They're 332, and oh my goodness, Dolg still at 463.
Jeez.
The lead, well, it is a fair bit smaller than it was. It's still relatively massive.
Yeah, like you said, they've been closing in a little bit. That 40 points is nice, but man, Dolg has been going off. And, we look at the leaderboard, only 11 teams left now. Again, those bases are going to get harder and harder. It is going to be the more chunky ones as we get on and on throughout this raiding phase. And Dolg, they have such a lead right now. Even after that 40 points, this is still 130 points, like you said.
130 points is a big one for sure. Like we said, I mean, somebody's got to go out there and wipe Dolg, but
it's true.
Nobody was out there last we looked.
Dolg is they have faith in the defense of their own base. Okay, we don't need to defend.
What defense? They don't need defense. There's nobody there. They are built just a little bit. That's surprising because they are a fair bit. Oh, hey, Momo eliminated by I don't know.
That would have been funny if that was Dolg. If we were talking about how Dolg didn't need to defend, and they just.
I honestly know. I would have been so disappointed if we didn't get to catch any of that. Because that would have been such a quick one. We were over there just a couple of minutes ago.
Right. Yeah, like you said, another team taken off the board. I don't know. They're jumping themselves up into 7th place with that TC take. A lot of teams now over that 200-point marker. And honestly, Dolg, other than Dolg, if Dolg were to be taken out of the equation, almost every single other team is really still in this one. There are some that are maybe a little bit lower than others, but I don't know, is also even still in. After that TC take, they would only be maybe 70, 80 points behind of Marple if Dolg was taken out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a significantly decent lead. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job here so far. I'm really just waiting to see what they're going to do to combat Dolg.
Yeah, I'm excited to see too. I will wonder what the answer is throughout the day, because we still got about half of this raiding phase left to go here, and still, again, 130-point lead is still going to be massive here, but this base is massive, or you could say was massive. About a third of it already taken out and down, so a little bit of chunk, a little bit of wind flowing through this one. It's got some advent calendar doors around the outside, but the team going through it really wants to break through the core. They want to find their way through some of these garage doors.
I mean, they're making progress. They're working their way here through, and like you mentioned, a bit over half of the raid phase left to go. And as we've seen plenty of teams dropping out, this has been an absolute bloodbath on all sides for almost every team except Dole. They've been a one-sided affair here, like we keep talking about. I just nobody's going for him, and I still can't believe that nobody's trying to take him out.
Yeah, well, there you go. Another team will be taken out. It's going to be Kiska. They're going to be eliminated by Dime Kiant, the next team to fall out, and another team off of the leaderboard. Man, so many teams have already fallen out today. And for Dime Kiant, that one's massive as well. Again, a third place is where they'll sit after that one. Over the 300-point marker is definitely going to feel good.
Oh, it's definitely going to feel great, but you've got to cross the 450 marker if you want to get first place right about now. So,
Sure.
I mean, 300's nice, but it ain't 450.
And Dog, they've built up such a massive lead for so long. I'm excited to see. I'm also excited to see over here, as we do have Dime Quint, who look like they are actually going to be the next target of the day. It looks like they are possibly being raided over here by the team right now in 8th of Ram. So their outer compound wall slightly in pieces already, has some pieces broken out on both sides. And it looks like Ram, they are attacking from a couple different angles at the moment.
Yeah, they are indeed. It does. I did see somebody. We've got one person inside of their compound here, holding their own against what is pretty much their whole team. A couple of different angles, like you mentioned here, going out for looks like 3-4 VRAM. You see another player here for Diamondkin is throwing up some compound walls in the back behind their base. I'm interested to see what he's doing there. It just looks like maybe setting up a flank route with maybe some beds getting put out there. I'm not sure. Another one, Joey, coming in from far away to help defend. Be interested to see what their plan is to counter. It does seem like it's a little bit of a slower fight, though. Looks like Diamondkin did take out one of those RAM guys and took over one of their shooting spots.
It does seem that way. It really does. And this base raid is going to be an exciting one. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to actually take just a quick break here. The question is, can Dolg hold their lead? That'll be the question after we come back, because we got to take just a short little bathroom and drink break. So we'll see you guys on the other side of it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate that short break and you guys sticking with us here. Welcome back to Base Invaders. Again, we have our EU 8v8 and we have an amazing day of Base Invaders already going on here. In that break, what we have missed is the gap closed just a little bit between Dog and Maripol. But once again, Doc, as per usual, Dog is on another raid.
Of course Dolg is on another raid. Why wouldn't they be? They got to keep expanding that already large lead. It has been dropped down, though. Only 81 points. We saw them at near 200 recently. So definitely not the lead they needed, and it's definitely smart they went for another raid because they're going to need to extend a little bit. They're getting a little too close.
Yeah. A little bit too close, but that is still 2 successful TCs from the other squad to catch up to them, and they got 38 minutes to do so. A lot of red circles still going on around this map here, and it is Dog's base here. And look at that. Oh, man. Yeah, the chunker.
It is a fully armored chunker for sure. We've seen this a couple of times, and still it's so empty. There's nobody here. There's so much space. There's so much defense. There's so much loot. There's so many beds, and no one's coming to take it.
Yeah, and this is what we see in 8-Mans. Like, if I rolled up onto this base, I wouldn't want to go into it, because this is all high quality, every single thing it seems like, other than some of the sheet metal on the roof. And like you said, they've got respawn points, they got lots of beds, and they got lots of loot to work with.
They have so much, it's nuts. And I mean, what do you expect from a team that's been dominating for the entirety of raid phase?
Yeah. Very, very true. They got points. That's what they got. The big thing on the board. A good point there from Ian. You know, they're very much out in the lead. If they get focused, they could be taken down here in these final 37 minutes, but that will be a question for later. Because right now, again, Dog still on the offense. They do not think their lead is enough just yet. So they are going to be raiding the team of IDK here. And I don't know if I don't know can defend this.
I mean, with Dolg's track record, IDK is going to have to pull out all of the stops if they want to stop these guys.
It's true.
These guys have yet to have an unsuccessful raid. They're getting raid after raid. They're getting so much PvP points as well. It's going to be a very uphill battle for IDK.
Yeah, and it's not just that they've been successful. They've been absolutely surgical. It's not that they've been, you know, taking their time. They've been blowing through it. They've been going very quickly and not allowing any chance for it to get stolen. And especially when we get down to these lower sets of teams, you know, you're going to have that dogpiling. So you want to finish those raids as quick as you possibly can. So we'll see if they can do it here. It looks like outer compound going to be still holding strong for now. They've done some damage towards this outer sheet metal wall. There is some extra, you know, fully high quality metal going to be improving that outside wall, but they're going to be kind of avoiding that, and they could just ladder around it as well.
Yeah, they've got gaps all over the place, so those armored walls are just kind of a deterrent. The question is what's behind them actually important, or is it just a red herring? And their core is somewhere farther deep. They do seem to think it is farther deep because they're just punching through all the sheet metal they can and just really starting to open up those top couple of levels.
Yeah, they're punching through all of it. They're looking to find that big TC. Could be somewhere. Has to be somewhere, actually, inside of this base. So I'm excited to see if they can do it. We got a lot of other fighting going on around this area. It's going to be a couple, kind of 3 teams kind of pushing more towards each other. Gorilla, we saw this team a little bit more active earlier in the raid phase. They've slowed down just a little bit, but they are sending some rockets straight from the roof to your roof.
Next day airmail delivery. Actually, same day airmail delivery. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, it's working for them. They're just pummeling the daylights out of them. And going top down, not necessarily a bad idea. Hopefully you pick a decent spot, you get lucky, and you go straight down to that TC.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And that's the kind of danger about building these advent calendar kind of tight bases where you have that TC on the outer wall. Now, usually the builders are smart and they're like, okay, we're facing a team. They're probably going to rocket us from that side that they're facing because that's the easiest point of attack. They're not going to wrap all the way around our base. So maybe we put our TC on the backside. So maybe it's more likely that it's not on this side, but you see how much damage they have already done. You see the raid platform that they have built up, and they have the green light that they are ready to go, but the green light is actually on the other side to destroy those beds, and that's a strong thing of the defense. You know, having the roof, they can have that high ground, take out those beds, destroy the raid platform, and almost, you know, squash the raid right there.
Most definitely can very much help them out, but it does also not do a ton when you also are neighbors. They can still come back from their base. Yes, that's one avenue of fighting for them that you take away. They still have plenty more, and they can just throw down another one just as quickly.
Very, very true. And Gorillas, I don't think it slowed them down one bit. They already got some players inside of that outer compound wall. They're going to combine it with the teammates that are kind of shooting back towards that base as well. So putting down a lot of pressure here towards this Tarantula team, who again, as we're getting to this later phase, we can only speak good things about these teams. All of these teams that have made it to this point are very, very good and experienced here. And going into the later stages, you know, it's going to be sad to see some of them go if they do.
Most definitely, it will be sad to see them go, and I'm sure we'll see a couple more here and there with these raids going on. A lot of these bases got some big holes, but I mean, at this point, man, unless somebody starts doing something soon, I'm thinking Dog's going to be sticking around for the rest of this one.
I think so too. I think unless they do get focused down, which could come, you know, as we say, you know, as time gets more slowly down. You talk about the teams that are maybe in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th there that may not have a route to win. Maybe their, you know, goal is let's just get a confidence booster. Let's take out the top team. Let's say we could do that, and then all of a sudden you got 4 teams on the top team and they don't survive. Like.
No, you're definitely 100% right, and that it could very well be what we see, but with how heavily armored their base is, I'm concerned that they're not going to have the time to do it if they don't start now.
Yeah, Ram is going to be eliminated here. Another one will bite the dust here as Dimekant will take another. So actually, it's going to be, again, closing that gap. Dimekant closing it on Maripol there. So Dog's lead again is being cut by just a little bit, but Fram will fall out there in 8th place in total. Tarantula has a lot of pressure towards them right now. Again, we talked about Gorilla is over here. Fast is also over here. So 2 different teams raiding. You got to defend from 2 sides.
Fighting a war on 2 fronts is never easy, so not a position I would want to be on if I was these guys. It's more of a race to see which one of these teams that are raiding is going to get there first.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's somewhat what it seems like. There is some twig there. I think that's just possibly a rebuild or something, or other, maybe some design there on the outside. But some decent, you know, armor. As we talked about with 8-man, you know, the bases are bigger. They're going to be a little bit stronger, take a little bit longer to get through. Unless, you know, of course, the asterisk is there. If you're Dog, you don't take long. You just cut through it like a hot knife right through butter.
Yep, pretty much just keep blasting away. You'll push your way through, and I'm sure you'll see something important real quickly if you keep that up.
That's true. Yeah, eventually you'll find something. That's the big thing. It's like, you know, in the base, it's not just going to be those doors. It's not just going to be walls. It's going to be, as we talked about before, beds, denying the respawn points. It's going to be those loot crates to replenish your boom in total. And maybe at TC to get yourself that big 40 points. The PvP points are huge as well. I'm excited to see at those stats at the end of the game, you know, actually how much PvP points Dog actually has. Because I think, what, they got 4 successful raids off. They got 1 attack helicopter. That's still like 250 PvP points.
Which is insane. That's a lot. They are killing dudes left and right, and none of it is at their base. Absolutely none of it is near where they live. They're just out there and being an absolute menace.
It's because they literally stole the U.S. hexagon and put it in Base Invaders.
The U.S. hexagon?
Yeah, they're like Pentagon. No, we'll go one better. We'll go hexagon. Just fully armor it. Put some turrets on it. No one wants to go near it.
No, nobody does. And I mean, the strategy is clearly working for them very well. They're extending their lead here again. They're getting a little bit closer to 90 points here now. They're making their way up there. They're trying to keep that gap, but Maripol is a lot closer than anyone has been for a while.
Yeah, it's been close. It's close is a relative term, obviously. You know, still somewhat of a lead here for Dog that they have kept throughout it, but have been closing it slowly and steadily. And Dog, you know, with that raid onto IDK here, I don't know if they have gotten in yet, what their what the basis is on that one. But right now, I mean, for both of these squads, this is a big raid. I mean, you talk about Gorilla and Fast, both two teams that could really, really use a raid, especially taking out a team above them, you know, just cuts out more competition out of the field. So, and it is a race. Like you said, both the teams have blown so far into this base. I mean, two of the corners are completely gone.
The base is literal Swiss cheese.
Are you a Swiss cheese fan?
You know, it's not bad. It's not my favorite cheese, but it's okay.
That's kind of my same sentiment. What's your favorite cheese?
Man, it really depends on what I'm eating, man. You know, I like a lot of cheeses, you know.
You a Gouda man?
Gouda's not bad. Gouda's not bad. I like my cheddars, my Colby Jacks, you know, some of the basic stuff I really like. Brie's pretty good. Goat cheese also not bad.
Ooh.
Not bad with some crackers.
Yeah, I can feel that. My favorite is American cheese. Caw, yeah. That's my favorite one.
No, man, that's freedom cheese.
Freedom cheese, baby. The good yellow stuff from America, from Wisconsin.
Yeah, the stuff that went through like 37 different filters and processors before it got to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's America right there. That's some American cheese. Nonetheless, we got a raid going on. Like you said, the Swiss cheese is being eaten up here by the team, and they are making it less and less here as, ooh, a nice little kill there. Traded on through.
He popped up right after he jumped around him, and he didn't stand a chance. He got shot in the back. And nothing you can really do about that.
Nothing you can do. Scare tactic, maybe. Catches them off guard here. But yeah, this base is looking a little bit worse for the wear, I would say. At least they have two corners still standing. That's at least a positive. Maybe not for long, but
yeah, I can't imagine they last too much longer. But who am I to say? We watched a TC hang out in the open at least once or twice, and nobody touched it. So you never know.
That is true. We didn't take that into account as well. But yeah, again, two parts of this base already blown off. So much access inside here for Gorilla and Fast, the two teams that are trying to take this raid onto Tarantula. The good news for them is at least they still control the roof. So with an open base as open as this one, you know, the roof is going to give you a lot of line of sight towards where all these teams are kind of running through. So you can take a lot of angles. If you have turrets active up there, could be good as well.
Yep, having that spot is super clutch, but those rockets still raining down from the top are slowly picking that away. And I don't know if you saw there, they're going to rebuild there in the middle. They're getting away with it, too. So I would have a feeling that TC is somewhere in that direction. So start blowing up those fresh walls and keep pushing through there. Do not let them close it.
And it's important to note as well that those walls don't, you know, come fully repaired. So as soon as you build that up to sheet metal, it's still going to be one rocket to take them down before that time it will take to repair. So we'll be, you know, clear those walls out. Like you said, it could be a sign that, you know, they're repairing here. We got a target right here because, you know, that's where they're putting all their defenses towards.
No, you're 100% right, and I don't want to backtrack too much from our previous conversation here. But I just wanted to point out out there, would you say Gouda could be better? And I just kind of don't want to exist anymore, so thanks for that. I've been dealt psychic damage with that pun.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Well, I guess I'm just going to be solo cast for the rest of the thing. Yeah, I guess. I'm kidding. Love Doc here. But yeah, 25 minutes left. Speaking of that dog, I mean, we cannot speak enough. Again, their lead is still here. They are still on the offense. That's the thing about them. They actually have played this actually really smart. Like throughout the start of that raid phase, they raided bases that were not close to them. And now they're raiding literally their neighbor. They saved their neighbor for last. So it's the closest and easiest base for them to raid.
Not a bad strategy. Save the shortest amount of time for the closest one, then you can run back and forth a lot easier. Keep things up from your roof. And it should overall be the easiest one, like you said, to get at.
That's true. Very true. Still some armor, though, holding strong on the outside here. And we look at the leaderboard once again. Dolg still holding strong as well. Still holding their big lead over the Maripol squad. Dimequint also is right up there as well. But again, it would really have to be a mistake from Dolg or somebody taking out Dolg for somebody else to really take the lead here.
I mean, somebody would have to be like I said before. They gotta start now. I can't imagine they're gonna get through to TC if they didn't start 15, 20 minutes ago. Plus, keep in mind if somebody attacks Dog, they're gonna have to pull guys back from their raid. So that would keep these guys here, IDK, still in it a little bit. I mean, they're pretty far behind the lead, but they could crawl their way up a little bit at least.
Yeah, they're pretty far behind, but I mean, every squad here getting to 300 points, that's still such an accomplishment here today. And as well, you know, maybe a team, if you got eliminated a little bit early, we obviously have our NA event a little bit later. And then also, you know, we run these events every single Sunday, so you maybe can sign up next week. And there's differing team sizes, so maybe 8 was too many for you. Maybe, you know, only, you know, you got 3 players that are really your hardcore Rust friends, and maybe, you know, you got 4 mans. Maybe those are your best squad size for you. So check every week.
Gonna come back every week, more of this carnage every single time. It's a great show. It's fun to watch these guys go at it. Big raids, big battles, and just a lot of really skilled players.
It is. Yeah, it's really skilled players, and it's, you know, just some fun. You know, good even to have some fun time with your friends. And Rust can be infuriating sometimes, but sometimes, like you said, Doc, you just mess around. You're just having some fun with your friends, and you know, it's just a little fun time in Base Invaders.
Oh, a fun time in Base Invaders, indeed. Like I said, this is my first one, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, and I am loving every single second of it here so far.
It's good to hear. It's good to have you on. Good to hopefully have you on for some future ones as well. But approaching now, 23 minutes left in this raid phase. Not a lot of time left to go. So this is where teams, they need to start stepping it on up here if they want to catch who is the raid boss, who is the team that has been there since the attack phase of Dog.
Dog, like you said, since the attack phase has been on top and has been nigh untouchable, raid after raid. No, I was about to say defense after defense, but they haven't had to defend anything, and oh my goodness, look at that. There's a TC with a C4 on it, and just like that, they're gonna get another one. Oh my goodness, they're just running away with it, man. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's coming even close. IDK falls out, and Dolg extends it even further.
I don't know. We need to do something to nerf Dolg here. Like,
almost 600 points.
Yeah.
Like, nearly double the lowest rated team right now.
Can they can we tie some of their hands behind their back or something? Like they got to play with one arm or something? Like,
I think we need to just turn one of their monitors off. You know.
They have to play with 6 players now.
They gotta play in portrait mode.
Ooh, oh no. Oh man, they gotta play the console version of Rust.
Oh,
15
man.
frames.
Oh. You know, I was so interested in Rust back when I was a console pleb, and that's all I did. And I was like, they're never gonna put Rust on console. And the second I get to PC, they drop console Rust, and I was a little upset. But looking back at that now, I'm really glad I got the PC before I started playing it.
It's a good decision to not get the console. I'm not gonna lie. I've heard horror stories of people that are like, yeah, I get 10 frames. It's an awesome game. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
like, okay, man.
Agony.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to do something for Dolg. They have just reached the 600-point marker, still holding down the first place. And like you said, their base is an absolute tank. I don't think anyone could blow through it in 20 minutes. I think there needs to be an alliance formed between everyone else in the server to go take them down right now.
Is that even legal? Can they do that? I didn't think so. Okay. I was just checking, you know. It would be hilarious, and I would love to watch it, but yeah.
No, it could be an inadvertent alliance, you know, that if there is a team in the lead, you know, all of them are going for it. As the main rule is pretty much like, if you guys run into each other, like if you're fighting on 2 sides of the base and like both teams are going in through different ways, you're not going to really collide until you get to the middle. But it's like if you get to the middle of the base, you meet each other, and then you just stare at each other, shake hands, and go the other way. Like you gotta shoot each other.
Yep. Can't catch that cross teaming. Do not want that. That would be a bad day, especially after they've all worked so hard to get here. Doing phenomenal here so far, but my God, somebody should have gone after Dolg an hour ago.
Yeah, probably Probably, and we'll see if anybody does here. Obviously, still 20 minutes, so still a little bit early to call it, but if this lead does hold, it's going to be tough for anyone to get over them. And as well, you know, you could extend their lead. You know, we talked about the raid defense points. You know, if you try and go and raid, we've seen their PvP before. It's on point. We've seen, you know, we haven't seen their defense, but we've seen their offense. It's on point. So if you try and, you know, attack them and they just get a defense, like, it's just going to increase their points even more.
It's a double-edged sword for sure. On one hand, you could get a massive boost in points and wipe them out, put yourself in first place. But on the same token, they're just going to keep extending that lead. So if you fail, now you've just made it worse for everyone else.
Yeah, maybe that's what Dog wants. Like, oh yeah, come raid us. Yeah, our base looks so juicy, doesn't it? They're like, oh yeah, thanks for the defense points, idiot.
Yeah, 100%. And that's yet another strategy they could use. They could go back to their base right now, and they'd probably still have a lead.
They probably will. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not saying. I'm actually knowing Dog. They're going for another raid. What am I talking about?
Oh no, for sure. They're definitely going to keep pushing. But I'm saying they could. They could just sit back, rest on their haunches, invite people to come to them, start taunting whatever they want, and just force somebody's hand. Because at this point, I mean, I don't really know what else they got to prove to anybody in this lobby. I mean, 613 to 445 in second place.
Yeah.
They can't not have at least a 100-point lead.
Yeah, and Doc, I might want you to look in the distance there because it looks like Dog is looking for another raid.
Yep, I see Dog coming in here on the Gorilla's base. Oh my goodness, the Gorilla trying to fight their own raid here. But doesn't matter. You got Fast, Tarantula, and Gorilla all in one spot here. Maropo and Dog in another, and Dog kind of just racing around Gorilla's base. 2v2 over on the Gorilla side of things right now.
Yeah, they are running in here looking for another one. We'll see if they can do it because it looks like almost everyone is in and around this base. You know, we see Fast around. We do see, you know, Tarantula. They're the team that is getting, you know, the most pressure being put on them right now, and Maripol's in the area as well. So pretty much all of these 6 teams are in or around this area. I don't see Dimequint around, but they could be around. You know, they hear probably the shots as well. So yeah, Dog is definitely here. Dog wants some action. They want some PvP points too.
Oh yeah, because they definitely need more points. But yeah, Dimequint not anywhere to be seen. Interesting to see where they are. Maybe they're going over to Dog's base, huh? Maybe they're trying to get that last minute TC. Maybe they're trying to get that Hail Mary play. Not quite sure what they've got in mind, but they might want to show up and get some points here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Team Fast's base taking some damage. What do we got going on over here? I'm not quite sure what we've got going on over here. There's just explosions.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
It's just Fast. What? He's just throwing his own C4 off of his own base. What is happening? I'm so confused.
I'm concerned and confused. What?
What? Huh? Is he bored and blowing up his own base? I don't understand.
I don't know. I'm so confused. And they just got bombed. I don't know. I am confused to say the least, that's for sure. I guess they got the misfortune of just maybe that patrol helicopter without a I don't know. Maybe that patrol helicopter that needed to find its courage finally found it, and they were the unlucky ones to.
They do seem to be a little bit unlucky here. They're getting shot up. A lot of them have come back to the base here, though. So trying to make something happen here. Pretty much looks like we got the whole team over here, but a lot of fighting going on over here. Look at all that loot on the ground where a base once was.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, just a mountain of it.
Yeah, just a pile there. Anyone could go and claim that.
Can I get some of that?
Yeah, you can get some of that. Go take it.
Oh, bet. Let's go.
Grab some of that loot for
you.
a
launcher? Oh, yeah, I'm going to need that. Thank you. All right, here we go. Tarantula still on the defense here, but so many people all around, and Dog also fighting. Oh, my goodness. Look at Gorilla's base. Look at the holes in it. I don't remember seeing that many holes in it last we were here. Looks like Gorilla's got a two-sided war or three-sided battle to fight here between the counter on their raid, the raid they're doing, and defending from Dog, who, as you mentioned, surgical precision on their raids.
Yeah, they are very, very good with getting those quickly. I think that's the biggest thing that has led to their success today is we've talked about 8-mans. You know, there have been multiple teams on their raid. It seems like almost every time that Dole gets to a base, but they are the ones that get in there quicker. They are the ones in there that are working together well enough. The communication is definitely on point to get through to those TCs, and it has led to this lead right here that we have seen, this massive lead that they have built up over about an hour and 15 minutes, not including that attack phase, because we talked about it. They were a little bit slow starting, but they just blew up their lead when they went to this raid phase.
Well, their lead exploded. They had a decent, respectable one for sure after the attack phase, but oh my goodness, it has been a non-stop high raid.
Really has been here. Yeah, nothing really much left of this base. It's got no real outer compound wall. It's got holes to get access in almost every which way, but they are still trying to defend it, and that's the biggest thing. You know, if that TC is still standing, your base is still standing, no matter if it's out in the open, no matter if it's hiding behind a wall or a door. So see how they can continue to defend it. Like you said, it's going to be hard defending from all of these different sides that they're getting raided from, because it really does seem like almost every squad is right here.
It pretty much is. The only ones that weren't here, I believe, right now are Fass and Delinquent. We don't know where they are, so they're still off doing whatever they were doing. But you see Gorilla's still in their base by themselves. I don't see anybody from... Oh, I see one guy from Fass is back over here. Gorilla's still fighting, but looks like Dolg seems to have been pushed back away from here. I don't see them around.
Yeah, they might have just taken up your advice here and gone back, but it is going to be Tarantula finally taken down there. They held out a very, very good defense for 3 teams long enough, but Gorilla will finally take them out, take some points, and take themselves into 3rd place.
They clutched up 3rd place. Very good job on their part here. Now this raid completed. What's going to happen? The teams remaining still kind of fighting each other. I'm assuming they're going to kind of part ways, maybe try to move on towards the other bases and try to wrap that up. Of course, 12 minutes left. Big old lead. I'm not quite sure what they plan on doing.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. All I know is, as we started, I think 19 teams on the day. And right now, Doc, we are down to just 5.
Yeah, it has been winding down very rapidly. These teams have been dropping left, right, and center. And here we go, another raid here. Oh my goodness, Dog is finally getting attacked. Holy cow, I never thought I'd see the day. A little bit late in that party here, buddy. You're going to need a lot of rockets and very fast. That one missed. That was a nice shot there, buddy. You hit the dirt. Try hitting their base, please. You don't have time.
I will say it does look like the foundation is actually going to be stone, so I'm not 100% sure if they have.
It's kind of scuffed.
Yeah. Somewhat.
I wonder.
Yeah,
that is high qual. Okay. It looked like stone from a distance.
It looked like stone from far away.
It is a full armored base. Let's making sure. I wonder.
I was just gonna say, like, did they leave their foundation open? Yeah.
Not much, apparently. Just seems like it's the exterior. A lot of metal on the inside, so maybe not as tanky as we thought. Thought they maybe had armored at least the first layer of full honeycomb.
Yeah. I think they have some high qual inside. I think there's a second layer, but I'm not 100% sure. But still, it's going to be, like you said, somewhat of a tanky base. If they do get inside of it, it could be a little bit easier to blow through. But at this point, I mean, Dog has so much roof pressure from you. You're approaching 10 minutes left. That is not a lot of time to raid this chunky base. And I was going to say, if that foundation is stone, you could take all that out pretty easily. But because all of that is high qual, yeah, there's no chance you're blowing through that.
Nope, you're going to have to go through walls or doors. That's it. You are not making it through that foundation anytime soon. But they are putting in a little bit of work. They got a couple of holes here and there, but I mean, is it gonna really do them any favors? I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's true. through? We won't know. Under the 10-minute mark now here, as it looks like a couple of teams are straying their way up towards this Dolg base. Dolg right now, they're just defending from the roof. That's the biggest thing. And for them, they need to. This is, somewhat of a scary situation that, you've talked about before. It could just be one lucky rocket, one lucky C4, one door that you blow up, and all of the sudden, that 600 points means nothing.
Exactly. They get lucky and they hit a TC, and bada bing, bada boom, your biggest enemy drops out in the last opportunity, and you've suddenly skyrocketed yourself into a solid position. I mean, literally either one of these teams knock out Dolg, except for Fast. Any one of these fourth place and up teams knock out Dolg, and they are instantly in first place.
Yeah, and if I had my choice, I know it would be mean to Dolg, but if Dolg were eliminated by one of those third or fourth place teams, like you said, I mean, there's only going to be a 10-point lead. It's going to come down to PvP right up until the end. That would be very exciting, but again, you have to get through Dolg to do it.
Yeah, 100%. And Bobo in chat. Yeah, man, you guys were fighting on all fronts. That was a difficult one to fight, but you guys did very well. You held on a lot longer than we thought with all that going on.
They did a really good job. I mean, it's tough. I mean, we talked about 8-mans. The pressure just mounts. 24 players. It's tough to defend against. It held for a long time. You guys should be proud.
You guys did a fantastic job holding out as long as you did on all fronts. Now it's Dolg's turn. Finally, we see a little bit of defense, but, I mean, don't really have to do a whole lot here. They just got to slowly keep them from coming in, and, I mean, they're doing a pretty decent job. But so far, that Roof Authority is doing a fantastic job. All of that high qual is really helping keeping them covered up. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they had spent a couple of them rockets on blowing up some of that shooting flow wall. And the reseal, that was pretty quick. But like you said, not full HP, so it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time to repair itself on through, but yeah, it's gonna be a chunky base. And as well, I do like the base placement here. Like overall, the landscape around them is partially snow. It's gonna be mostly flat around them. There are some trees to block some coverage, but they picked such a good spot that Roof Authority means so much more, because there actually isn't hills or valleys or any cover that any of these other teams can have other than walls that they build themselves.
No, you're definitely right. They're gonna need some walls to help out. And I mean, to be fair, 7 minutes left. I mean, they're making a little bit of progress into their base for sure. Maybe they do get lucky, but I'd be impressed if they did manage it.
I would be impressed as well. So we'll see, though. Like you said, not a lot of time. Still a helicopter smoking right outside of their base as well, that they're probably not going to use for their own. And that actually could be, could be something that another team is like, okay, we YOLO. We just take their heli, take their roof, and go from there, because yeah, they have such a dominant position right now. And as well, they're doing a good job of sending their PvPers out to clear out these raiding platforms, to clear out some of these players that are trying to raid, and just getting them caught in those angles. Again, we talk about it takes time to switch between your rocket and your rifle, and if you don't have that rifle out and one of those Dolg players comes running, they can take you down.
Yeah, 100%, and we've seen the surgical offense from Dolg, but clearly their defense just as specific and well targeted. Doing a great job, but here's Diamond going through their base, getting real deep through the very center here. Dolg kind of might want to watch out. They're making some good progress. They're going to want to shut those guys down on the inside. They're doing a great job, like you said, of the guys on the outside, but there's a few too many running around inside your base.
Yeah, there's a couple in there. That is a scary, scary situation. The good thing for them, once again, they have a lot of bed spawns. They have really, really designed this base well, that there's so many beds in that interior. There's beds on the roof. They have a lot of respawn points where you can get back and get going here, as well as a lot of those crates. They have I have to imagine, along with, this armored walls, they have so many kits to work with. And this is why they might have been, starting a little bit slower. Maybe they were, grinding out some resources to make sure that they could actually really be prepared.
That may well be what they did, and if it is, I mean, whatever they did, it's worked out very well for them here so far. They've been holding their own. They've got some repairs going. They're working on it. A mini bomb coming in, but that mini pilot gets absolutely decimated.
Yep, taken down. Under 5 minutes to go here as the repairs start on coming through for Dolg. They have cleared out the members outside of their base, and now they are repairing that with some sheet metal. Again, that'll take some time to fully build itself up on the HP, but, that's still another rocket to block. That's still more resources from the other side, and they've done, again, a great job of just clearing those players out with the bed spawns, and you see it even sending players outside their base once more. Dolg, it's defended, I think.
It sure looks like it. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of enemies left over there, and Marvel here fighting pretty good here. Let's see, who do we got out here? A good few bit of holes in their base, but they seem to be doing okay on the defense here so far. No enemies running around, squirming inside their stuff.
It's a design, okay? It's all part of the design. Okay.
It's something.
It is something, that is for sure. It is a base here, and it is still standing strong. I mean, there are some other teams that are looking to take it out here, but again, it's just dire time for any team at this point. The Dole base is not going to fall. I'm going to say it. There were 3 teams on that raid.
Yeah, that's not happening. I think that's a Gigi there from Dole. 663 points to 493 for second. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, what a day they've had, and it was a good try. All these other teams, again, they really did put a good foot forward. They really did get a lot of points on the board, but Dolg, again, were just absolutely surgical. Not only, I think their full planning out throughout their entirety of the day today was just absolutely on point. Again, we talked about their resource management. They might have started a little bit far back, but maybe that was because, they just put more time into planning. And, we talked about that teams that lead at the attack phase, it's not necessarily that you're going to be leading throughout the entire tournament because, again, TCs are worth 40, PvP points are worth so much, and Dolg has shown us that today.
Oh, they have definitely showed up. PvP clutched it, raid defense clutched it, raid offense clutched it. I mean, I can't say I've seen a single thing from Dolg as a team that I would have anything negative to say. Like they've done amazing.
Yeah. And their defense as well. I mean, I think that as well, that it shows that they're just a really, really well-rounded team. The communication 100% on point. They're just working towards their strengths. Again, they say, okay, we keep some players back. We're keeping that roof. We know our base is in a strong spot. And then, you PvPers, you 3 go out, take down some of those raiding platforms, catch them with their pants down, catch them with those rockets out, take them down, get some more PvP kills for us as well. And, you see that as well. That lead is going to be extended. All of those defense points added towards that total that, it's even hard to surmount. And like you said, it might have to been an hour ago for someone to actually break through all of that high quality.
Yeah, they would have had to go way earlier, and unfortunately, none of them took my advice, and it was a successful defense there for Dolgan. A minute 37 on the clock. Well, I think that about covers it.
Yeah. Pretty much, we're still going to have some PvP here. All these players looking for one final taste of it. It looks like Maripol and Fast are fighting for some skirmishing power here out at the outside. Maripol, though, only does have one player. Ooh, Gorilla's getting involved, too. A 3-way PvP war to end this one out. It's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, you got to do something. You don't want to end just sitting around in your base. It's a pretty boring way to end what's been a phenomenal action-packed day for Base Invaders. So, definitely glad to see they're still running around, still trying to fight, even if they are not, even if they don't have a chance at making up the points they need. They're still keeping at it.
Actually, I want to see. It's actually really, really close between Dimequint and Gorilla. Like it's 3 points.
Gorilla could definitely overtake if they get a few more points here.
Yeah, that could be the bronze medal instead of getting 4th place. I like it from Gorilla, like you said. Not fun to just sit back off in your base. Really, really good job. Just get out, have some fun.
Oh, and even Dolg, look at that, coming in to try to join the fray from the outside.
It's not your moment, Dolg.
They're like, no, we want to still be here. We still want you to talk about us. We still want to be on the screen. We're going to come back, keep fighting.
Yeah, and I think we'll be talking about them for weeks to come because the timer is ticking down. Dolg, they have done such a good job throughout the day, throughout the entirety of all those phases. The base was strong, the team was strong, and they are going to be your Base Invaders EU winners. I think we predicted this from a couple minutes. I mean, we knew even maybe an hour back that their lead was just enough there. Dog, they take number 1 position.
Most definitely. And here we go. We get the juicy details on these points. Oh my goodness.
I mean, 461 kills over a 2.0 KDA.
As a team, not for an individual, the whole team together had a 2.0 plus.
Yeah.
Raid defenses, 4 completed raids, tons of items destroyed, 32,000 items crafted. Wow.
Yeah, I'd also like to mention Diado, 110 kills by themselves. Absolutely insane as a team, man. Yeah, I was wondering how many kills they had. It was a lot.
No, it's an insane amount of points for sure. And clearly, I mean, their lowest guy only 15 kills, but I mean, still, clearly he had something to do. It's not like he was just sitting around doing nothing. We saw him running around a lot.
I assume it was
and
the
then
builder, but
probably, maybe, but and then you've got everybody else there, 40 or more, and it just keeps climbing. So clearly, they knew what they were doing, and they showed it. They showed everybody what's up.
They really did. Yeah, those defense points really came in clutch as well. I mean, you even take out Diado's kills, they still win. Like, that's crazy to me. They have so many. Like, it just goes to show they weren't stealing those raids. They were really grinding out those raids. They were taking the PvP points as well with that. Honestly, a really well-deserved dub.
Oh, most definitely. And congratulations to all of the teams here, too. I mean, Marble, number 2, Gorilla number 3, Diamond Queen 4th, and Assassin 5th all managed to make their way to the end. Maripol did pretty well here, too. 302 kills, not too bad, but you see the difference between first and second place. That is over 300 kills difference.
Yeah, a pretty big difference there. They got some good kills overall. I'd also like to point out, you see that hard point control time down there at the bottom, 5 minutes. So they had some activity there early in the hard point. And like you said, nothing wrong with getting second, a pretty good place overall. I would like to focus on Gorilla, though, because we talked about it right up and towards the end. That third place team, they jumped them. They got enough PvP points right at the end.
They did manage to get it at just the very end. 356 kills, 300 deaths. Still a positive KD for the team overall. And, I mean, kill-wise, you see they've all got a fair bit of kills, 20 the lowest, 55 the highest. They definitely put in the work, and that PvP at the end helped them get that clawed-up spot right into third.
Yeah, and Dime Quint as well, that 4th place team. They were right behind them. They were right there as well. Good job surviving towards the end. Actually, look at that KDA. That is exactly a 2.0. Perfect.
Wow, yeah, they hit that pretty much spot on. Of course, like you said, they did a great job as well with a lot of PvP, a lot of attacking and fighting. And you see Dime Quint, 3 raids completed, no raid defenses. They didn't have to defend. No. GG, fair enough.
Yeah, didn't have to defend. We're really well at using their lives, like you said, with that 2.0 KDA. But now we'll look at Fast, our 5th team, our final team on the board. Still, again, positive kill-death ratio there. 346 kills and that 1 raid completed.
And a raid defense as well, so they were able to do both. Clearly, all of these teams made it to the end for a reason, and that's because they can fight, they can PvP, they can defend, and they can attack. We just saw a little bit more of that from some teams, and some others just didn't quite get as lucky. But I mean, hey, it comes down to a lot to the strategy coming into it, your base design, your plan of attack, going which bases are you going to go for, who are you going to fight, so on and so forth.
It's true. Yeah, maybe they just did not get enough raids. But at the end of the day, all these top 5 teams, they deserve their spot here. Like you said, start with 19 down to these top 5. But at the end of the day, it is going to be Dog, your winner of the EU Base Invaders. A huge congratulations off to them. And I think actually that is mostly gonna do it for our stream here today. Obviously, we got to give out a couple thanks here first before we end it off again. A huge thank you to all the players for showing up, showing out. And as a reminder, if you want to participate in these events, make sure and join the Base Invaders Discord. Again, EU and NA events every Sunday night, or if you want to be part of the production or staff team, casters as well. Doc, you know, it was your first time here today. You know, you can join up in that server.
Most definitely. And thanks to everybody for coming out. Thanks for having me as well. I really enjoyed my time here. Thanks for all the viewers coming out, hanging out with us. Thanks to Gigi. I'm going to assuming it's Gigi, I'm
yeah.
mess up your name, for doing the production on this and helping us make this stream what it is.
Yeah, I gotta appreciate Gigi. Appreciate you, Doc. And also got to appreciate Rustoria for providing the servers for us playing on today. Again, got a lot of servers for Rustoria. Again, appreciate them so much. And thank you to Rusty Pot for sponsoring the prize pool for today's tournament. As a reminder, NA will be a little bit later today. I believe it's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe it got pushed back just a little bit. But make sure to hit that follow button here on the Rustoria servers channel. And we will be back in a little bit. Thank you so much for watching Rustoria Base Invaders. Again, Llama 77 with Doc Rams. Well, if you have an amazing, awesome night, and we'll see you on the next one.